Okay, I think we're live, but I just want to double
Yeah.
check because are we really?
Yes, I can see.
Oh, we're live. Oh my goodness. What a busy day we have had today. We've just had two of my favorite speakers, actually. We've had Brad Smaler, and that interview has just finished. And now I have Alexia from GirlBoss.
So
Hi,
great to
Alexia.
be here. So great to be here. Thank you, Shaun.
This is now I'm going to tell a little story about Alexia, just very, very briefly. And this, because she's very humble, we're going to have to work really hard to get everything out of her, but we'll get there. So I met Alexia when she was 19, and it was a funny meeting because I was like, I think I was lying on the floor waiting to get in somewhere,
Yes.
and then this really young woman comes in. And for some reason, I didn't recognize Alexia. I said, who are you? How can I help? She went, I'm Alexia. I'm the speaker. So embarrassing. But anyway, here's the thing. And this was the amazing thing. We were doing this gig. And if you're a speaker, or if you've even been at a conference or an event before, you would know that spot at the end of the day is really hard work. You know, everybody is tired. It's like, yeah, it's great. You feel motivated. Can we go to the bar or can we go home or whatever? And we'd had this great speaker on prior to Alexia, Palace Hubekota, who did a great job, by the way, as you'd imagine. But it was getting on. It was late in the day. And here's Alexia, 19 years of age. She's sitting at the back of the room with me. And she's going, she's bought her own little microphone, and she's going, right, Shaun, I think that they are lacking a little bit of energy, so I'm going to have to get them up, and I'm going to get them to do some exercises. And I was like, you're what? And she got on stage. It was really late towards the end of the day. She got these people up, and it seriously, there was like goosebumps on my face because she had these people who were tired and were out of energy eating out of her hand. It was as if it was 8 o'clock in the morning and everyone had slept for 14 hours the night before and were drinking cans of V. They were like, this woman is incredible.
Oh, it was an awesome event. Awesome event.
It was, wasn't it?
It was so good. And, you know, you've got to, especially if you're that second speaker in one slot, I'm always a big believer, you've got to do some energizer, some stretch, because there needs to be a gap from moving from one mindset to the next. So, yeah, I was like, they need to get their blood pumping. And so, yeah, we did some awesome activities. It was great, but it was a blast.
It was so much fun. Now, we're so lucky to have you on our roster. And we're just so grateful that you're on part of the Essential Talent family. And I've got to say, Alexia has spoken all around the world. She's spoken to over 40,000 people now, and done some incredible things. And I wish I could honestly say that I booked her for those events, but I haven't. Most of them come directly to her, and she's just one of these people. She's got incredible energy. And when I actually spoke to you, Alexia, for the first time, 19 years of age, I thought to myself, it's as if this woman is like a CEO in her early 40s, like just the type of conversation we're having about business, I was going far out. So tell me how the whole journey started. Let's go, please. And I really want you to tell us the story. Don't be humble because you've done some incredible stuff. Let's go right back to where it started.
Sure thing. So, kia ora everyone. I'm Alexia and I'm the founder and CEO of GirlBoss New Zealand. And I started GirlBoss at 16 as a result of my own experiences when I was in high school. So in my co-ed high school, I was the only girl studying digital technology and later the only girl studying advanced physics. And I'll go to coding competitions and science competitions and regularly be one of 2-3 young women in the room. And I just couldn't understand why my female friends were so intelligent and so capable, but didn't always have the confidence to step into these spaces. And I started to feel quite isolated. And they say that you can that if you see a problem, you can be the one to step up and solve it. And so at 16, I started GirlBoss New Zealand. It's been an incredible journey since then. We've grown to a network of 13,500 young women. We run programs in over 100 high schools across New Zealand, Australia, and the Cook Islands. And every day I get to work with incredible young women all across New Zealand. And we encourage them into science, tech, engineering, maths, leadership, entrepreneurship. We partner with some of New Zealand's biggest companies, and we do some really good work. So it's been an incredible ride. It's been a truly incredible ride.
So you've got 13,500 women.
Yes.
And sort of signed up to GirlBoss. And,
Yes.
and what do they get as being part of that? Explain that to me. What's the experience that they gain?
Yes, so we do a range of activations throughout the year. We do workshops in at least 100 workshops a year. We do conferences all the time. A GirlBoss award scheme. We've got 125 young women that we place into internships this year. We've just done partnered with the Ministry of Education to support young people through COVID-19. So we've just supported 220 young women across regional and rural New Zealand through our programs completely online. So there's a lot of different things that we do, but that sums it up.
I think you were very quick to miss out something that was pretty amazing that happened in your life. A certain trip to Buckingham Palace. Can you please stop being humble and share that story? And because you went and met the Queen. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, okay. So I was very lucky that I was selected to receive the Queen's Young Leaders Medal for services to the Commonwealth. And so there was 20,000 nominations, and I was selected, and there was a very long application process, and I'm the youngest person in history to receive this medal, which is pretty exciting. And as part of that, I got to study leadership at Cambridge University in the UK. And I also got to go to Buckingham Palace and meet the Queen. And it was a pretty awesome experience. I've got a bit of a funny story about when I met the Queen, actually. So,
tell us, please.
Yeah, so I met the Queen. It was at Buckingham Palace in the Grand Ballroom. And they announced my name. And they say, Alexia Hilbertidou from New Zealand. And that's my cue. I stand up. I have to walk down the aisle to go meet the Queen. Now, to be honest with you, my preparation for meeting the Queen had involved about 99% of the time deciding what I was going to wear, right? Like I'd thought about what my outfit was going to be, my earrings, my makeup. That really was where my headspace was at. And it wasn't until they announced my name that I thought to myself, what am I actually going to say when I meet them?
I love it.
And so I'm walking, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And it's not until I get to the curtsy. So I do my curtsy, and then I stick my hand out and I say, and this is the first thing I said to the Queen. Hello, did you know there's more CEOs named John than CEOs who are women on the New Zealand Stock Exchange?
Is that what you really said to her?
It was what I said, the first words that came out of my mouth. Now, the Queen, she reacts very similar to you. She just bursts out laughing.
Did she?
So, the Queen's laughing. The Queen's laughing. And then I say, but don't worry. The young women of New Zealand that I work with are going to change this.
And what did she say to that?
She said, very good. So I like to tell the young women in my workshops, the Queen believes in you. But it was a pretty awesome experience. Afterwards, I went straight into this media room, and I had all this different media, and I was saying, what did you say to make the Queen laugh? And I was pretty sure I was a Daily Mail clickbait article, which was pretty cool. And it was awesome. I got to meet a lot of incredible people. I met David Beckham that same day, which was pretty cool. Like? Yeah, I've got a story about how I met David Beckham as well.
Tell us, come on.
So at the networking function, after I received my medal from the Queen, so we were still at Buckingham Palace in a separate room, and there's all sorts of celebrities and different people there, former prime ministers. And we're in the room, and I look over, and standing sad and lonely by the juice table is David Beckham. He's standing there all by himself. So I think to myself, well, I better do my good deed of the day and go cheer up David Beckham. So I bounce over to David Beckham and we're chatting away. We're talking about GirlBoss. We're talking about New Zealand. We're talking about London, gender politics, the usual stuff. And then a royal staffer comes up to David and I, someone that works at Buckingham Palace. And the royal staffer turns to David and I and says, "Excuse me, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan request your presence." Then David goes, "Oh, mine." And the royal staffer goes, "Oh, no, sorry, Miss Alexia's." And as I'm being...
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
Know, it's a real story. And as I'm being escorted away from David Beckham, like, "Bye, David," to have my one-on-one with Prince Harry and Meghan, I'm thinking to myself, my life will never top this level of cool.
It is just, what an amazing story.
Yeah,
I just love it.
I'm lucky that I was able to get in there with Prince Harry and Meghan before they ousted from the royal family. So it was pretty awesome. It was
fantastic. Really, that's fantastic. What a great story. Tell me this. You said that you studied leadership, did you say, in Cambridge?
Yeah, leadership for change, yes.
Yeah. Tell me this. What do you think makes a great leader?
So I think what makes a great leader is really around being very purpose focused in what you do. So, everything that we do at GirlBoss is really focused around our mission, and we really bring that mission in everything we say. We say only 2% of NZX CEOs are women. We're changing that. And it really, by following that really strong mission, allows a lot of young women to get behind what we're doing. And a lot of organizations want to jump on board and support that mission. So I think really having a strong mission is particularly important when engaging Generation Z, because they want to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. They're a highly activist generation. And so, having that mission and showing and sharing with them, you're the change makers. You're going to be the ones to push these statistics forward and create that change is a really compelling message that we share with Generation Z, and has been part of why we've been able to grow our network so quickly, by having a really strong mission that anyone can get behind.
Are we making any headway? Are more women moving into these positions as CEO, or have we still got a long, long way to go? Yeah,
the stats aren't changing at the rate that we'd like them to do. No, women have been particularly in our higher leadership statistics, women have been in the workplace for generations now. They've been going to university at higher rates for a number of years, and we still have not seen those shifts in that higher leadership, particularly in the private sector, particularly in our NZX and larger companies. But I really do believe that it's possible that we change these statistics. In my generation, I want my generation to be the ones to change the statistics once and for all, to close that book, because I don't want us to be sitting here 10, 20, 30 years down the track having these same conversations.
Why do you think we are in this position, Alexia? Has it got to do with boards just not having, being prejudiced for some reason, or has it got to do with women feeling that for some reason that they can't go to that? What do you think it is? Why is it so low?
So it's a range of reasons. There is cases of conscious bias, which you've shared there around things, but such as you said, around that prejudice. But I think, and also boards who select CEOs are largely, women are largely underrepresented. But I also think there's a lot of subconscious bias there. There's also a lot of lack of representation. So women don't always see those role models. There's not always that pipeline of talent. And that's why we say, hey, we're starting young. We're already in high school, in the first years of university, we already start seeing those disparities. So by the time they get to a CEO level, women can be, severely disadvantaged once all those years compile. So I think, starting young, investing young is our strategy to address it. But also there needs to be diversity across the board, which will help as well.
Do you think there are big differences in leadership styles between men and women, or do you just think a strong leader is a strong leader regardless of what sex they are? What's your thought? Like, do you think there are differences in style in the way that a woman will lead a team versus a man?
So I think a strong leader is a strong leader across the board. I do see, I think diversity in all its forms can bring different perspectives. And I think it's not necessarily that, women bring a, innately different leadership style. I think it's more around what we see a leader. And so that can be, needs to change. We see a leader as someone who fits this very narrow profile. And it's not just, whilst women often don't fall into that, it's also other men and, other people from minority backgrounds who also don't actually fit into that narrow thing of this is what a leader is. They're assertive. They don't show weakness. And anyone who doesn't fall into that narrow box is disadvantaged. So I think actually expanding, hey, a leader can look like this, and a leader can be so diverse. Would mean we would actually get better talent across the board, and that talent would be more diverse.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to work for 2 women as CEOs of big, large companies, Suss & Turner and Belinda Mulgrew. And what I've noticed is very, very organised, incredibly organised, probably much stronger on detail than blokes generally. That's been my experience, and very driven, very, very organised, and empathetic as well. There's that empathy that comes through more, I think. We really do need to get more women in these positions, don't we, really? Why are we still having this discussion in 2020, for crying out loud? It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. But I think if we just invest in this generation, go hard and start young, I think they've got everything within them to create this change. So I'm very hopeful.
Who are women that you look up to, that are your heroes, that you go, amazing, that you've found inspiring in your life?
Yes, there's a lot of inspirational women in New Zealand that I look up to. So Teresa Gatting is one. She's an incredibly inspirational woman who's supported us very early in the first few months of starting GirlBoss. She really came aboard and spoke at our events. So she's an awesome woman. Even Chloe Swarbrick making waves in politics, showing that there's so many different ways in which you can be a political leader. You might have seen on her social media post just today. She shared about the mental health battles that she's been having just over the past couple of weeks, and really sharing that openly and honestly. And I thought, wow, that's pretty brave. That's pretty cool. That shows there's many different ways to be a leader. And so, there's full of incredibly inspirational women. I could name more, but yeah. What about you, Shaun? Who's the inspirational woman that you look up to?
I think Michelle Obama is someone that sort of springs to mind. I have started watching a documentary. I think Jacinda Ardern is probably an obvious one. And that doesn't, I'm not saying to people that I necessarily vote Labour, because that's no one's business who I vote for, but I have been impressed with her leadership style in different situations. I look up to my mother. My mother has basically given her whole life to helping people. She's helped addicts for a big part of her life. Recovering alcoholics, opened her house up to them for years and years and years. Wow. And now works for the Red Cross, where she's helping people again. So yeah, lots of inspiring women. I tell you, a New Zealander that I really look up to is Jan Hellriegel. Jan Hellriegel, a wonderful musician. She is a person that is she's like you. She's full of energy, and when she says, "I'm going to do something," you're not sitting back going, "I wonder if she really is going to get round and do it." You're like, "No, she's going to do it." She's a great leader for the music industry. So yeah, there's lots of, but Michelle Obama, I just think the way that she carries herself, she has that wonderful combination of empathy and drive and intelligence and kindness. I read something the other day, Alexia, which I know that you would love. There was this meme and it said, kindness is the new cool. And I thought, yeah it's true. We need to be kinder. So what's your vision for GirlBoss going forward? What are you going to achieve next? When are you writing a book? You need to write a book. You've probably already written one, have you? And I don't know about it.
No, I haven't written a book. I've been asked to write a book actually.
Sure?
But it was something that, it was one of those things that, like, we want you to do a book. Send us through, your first chapter, and it's one of those things that I've like been on the constant to-do list. So I think our next steps is really around, we've still got so much demand. We've got over 100 schools in our waiting list, so really scaling up our support and our funding to meet that demand. Then also, expanding more of our GirlBoss Advantage program. So this is our most exciting program yet, which is an internship program. So we actually partner with organizations such as Fletcher Building, for example, and we actually go into the office and run a 5-day internship program for high school students. And this is something really innovative for a lot of corporates who have never invested so early in a talent pipeline. But actually, hey, if there's some great female talent out there, and we have about a 5% acceptance rate for some of these programs, then why not start investing in that talent early? Why not grow and nurture that talent? And it's been awesome. We had 25 young women in the Fletcher Building offices in January. 7 have been offered paid internships going forward while still in high school, one as young as 15. And it's just been incredible. So I think that is one of our programs which has real potential to be scaled up and rolled out across country.
Alexia, are you 20? Are you still 20?
No, I turned 21 now.
You're 21. Everybody, this woman is 21 years of age. Can you imagine what she has achieved already? A lot of people don't achieve in a lifetime, and she does it with grace. She does it with kindness. She's so caring and compassionate. I was actually watching a couple of videos before we had this interview, and there's a great interview, and they're talking. This is going back a bit, maybe 2018, and they're talking to you, and they're talking to your mum, and your mum just seems so lovely. She goes, yeah, I'm just Alexia's mum now, and I work for Alexia, but you can tell there's this pride, and it was talking about I think it was your grandfather, who was Samoan, who was very big in print, I think, by memory.
Yes, he was. Yes.
Yeah. See, it's research.
Printing presses here for a number of years, a number of decades. Yeah. So it's super cool. But it's Samoan Language Week, so talofa to you.
Talofa.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Being part Samoan has been a big part of my journey as well.
Yes.
So it's been really good. I'm always proud to wave that flag.
Hey, I know that you'll have 101 things on your to-do list to probably do before the end of the night. Thank you so much for your time, Alexia.
Thank you, Shaun. Oh, it's been awesome to be here. Thank you, Brian.
You're just so kind. Thank you for everything that you do for the women of New Zealand. And here's a prediction, and I'm going to keep this interview, and I will take this little snippet out when it happens. This young woman will be a New Zealander of the year before you know it. Because what she does for our country, it will happen. What she does for this country, what she does for the women of New Zealand is inspirational. You're a real legend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shaun. Thank you for all the work that you do, and thank you for your constant support.
Thanks, Alexia. Have a good night.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye-bye.